All right, Cubs fans, here with Nico Hoerner, Cubs Gold Glove second baseman. And Nico, obviously, everything is rolling right now ahead of game number one versus those Los Angeles Dodgers. So far into camp, how are you feeling, man?
Feeling good. Obviously, a little different offseason, doing rehab, getting my elbow right. So, a little behind the rest of the guys right now, but it's been a great camp so far.
Absolutely. You talked about it just being in the offseason after undergoing surgery. How were things different for you in the lead up to spring training?
Yeah, I mean, I had something to do every day of the offseason, which isn't how I have always had it. But it's kind of nice to have structure in that way, even if it's not something that you necessarily won't ever have to do. But if I were to look back in October and know that I'm at where I'm now on February 19th, I'd be pretty happy with it. So I'm in a good spot.
By having that surgery, did it allow you to somewhat reset, refocus, and just reassess where you're at in your professional career?
Yeah, I mean, I think after every season, there's some reflection involved, and no different this off season. I think when you do have a little less that you can do physically, there's some time for that. But yeah, definitely feeling like I'm in a good spot.
How about some of the expectations for 2025? You're a Gold Glover, Dansby's a Gold Glover, Happer's out there. You've also added Kyle Tucker. What does he bring to this ball club?
Yeah, I mean, I think Kyle Tucker does what all of us are trying to do, in that he does every part of the game well. He's a five-tool player and guy who impacts the game in every way. Having a player like that on your team makes life easier for the rest of us. It adds incredible depth for our lineup, versatility on defense, and every part of it is going to be a huge help.
It sounds very cliche, but a rising tide lifts all boats. Do you see that when a player like Kyle Tucker comes here, World Series pedigree, everyone else wanting to get in line and reach one common goal?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the more guys you put in the locker room that have a desire to win, have done it before, the better. And yeah, talk about the same thing with Justin Turner, and so really cool to have that around.
Absolutely. I was going to get to that one next.
Yeah.
Justin Turner, a World Series champion in his own right. What does he bring to this table as a squad?
Yeah, obviously I've got to still get to know him and everything, but been one of my favorite hitters to watch in the last decade plus. This absolutely maximizing his skill set and being one of the best pure hitters in the game for a long, long time. Still doing it at 40 years old in an era of baseball when a lot of people are getting pushed out at 33, 34, and so just obviously so much work and knowledge that's gone into that, and excited to spend some time around him.
Absolutely. And one of the best postseason hitters in the history of the game. How will you go about your business when it comes to picking Justin Turner's brain, specifically on the postseason, Nico?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he's done it at the very, very highest level under the brightest lights, and I think a lot of that starts with the work this time of year and just the basics of whatever it is for him, creating his foundation to have a good season. I'm excited to watch his work and hear, you hear about the work that he did to work on his swing mechanically. That was well documented, but I'm excited to hear just from a mental side what that's been like for him and different situations. I think that kind of gets overlooked. He's one of the best situational hitters in baseball, and so much of that is mental, and excited to hear from him.
He's going to bring a leadership aspect to this ball club. Also paired with a guy like Dansby Swanson, there's chemistry. And when you talk chemistry, you and Dansby have an unbelievable chemistry up the middle, quite possibly the best in all of baseball. What goes into that working in spring training? Because right now, there's still somewhat training wheels on. We want to take things gradually.
Yeah, I mean, creating a foundation at this point of the year. Obviously, the more years you play together, the easier it is to kind of hit the ground running. But there's always room for improvement. And I thought we did a good job defensively last year, but always feels like there's outs on the table. And I think you'll see a healthier and better version of both of us this year.
Absolutely. Slowly but surely after injury, that's what you want to do, specifically surgery. How do you have to tell your body, slow down just a little bit, because your brain, I know you're a gamer, you want to go 100% every single time.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the more challenging parts of any rehab, whether it's a hamstring for 2 weeks or a full surgery like this, is knowing, when you're fully ready to go. And we're not at that point yet, but heading the right direction. Fortunate to have a great staff around, and a lot of, actually probably more, I've talked to pitchers than I've ever have before of just taking care of the arm and flexor in general, and treatments and things that have helped them in the past, and what's normal soreness, what's not, and all that stuff. So nice to have good teammates around for that.